All right, good evening. That's good. I'm very sorry for joining late or for not being settled. Like I'm just coming back. I just got home and I have to join this, so I'm trying to just try and be comfortable with it. All right, so sharing my screen. Um, is there something? Yeah. So that's it. We looked on color. So you know that color is one very funny property. Colors is one of the properties in CSS, and that should tell us like you see that we've already started getting a round of what we do in CSS and how to use color. We know we use color when we just want to style the text. Yeah, I missed that last week. And then when you want to touch the background, to do background color. So that is that. Now today we'll be talking about text, and let's see how fast we can go. So we say CSS textile. CSS textiles allow you to control the appearance and formatting of the text on a web page, whether it's aligning text, decorating it, or adding shadow effects. CSS provides several properties to make your text visually appealing. So now, common text properties that we have text align that the text it aligns the text horizontally, either left, center, or right. By default, your text always on your left. So if you want it at the center, you use text align. If you want it by your right, you use text align. Now text decoration, hats or remove underline, overline, or line through. We get to see all of this. Text transfer controls the capitalization of text. Letter spacing adjusts the space between letter. One spacing adjusts the space between words. Text shadow adds shadow to text for a 3D effect. Line height sets the spacing between lines of text. Now we have the example of text alignment. So let's go straight to our code as we've been doing. This is our HTML. Let's go live. Oh, we have a background color all through. So let's do something and remove that. Let's remove this. Good. Now, which particular text? Oh yeah, we already even done something on that. Let's see. Yes. Let's remove this. So let's look for a P. Let's just centered. So you see by default, all our text is by the left, right? Well, now we want it to be either at the center or by the right. So what we do, we use text align center. So let me come back here. Let's use the type tag. I'm using P. I'm telling it to text align center. So when center is when center is, can you see all P comes to the center? Do you understand? All P comes to the center. You can either do, let's say, right. Yep. If we do right, so by default, see, they all stay by the right hand side of the text. So sometimes you can get some words like this that you can put in the right hand side using your text. So they just stay by the right. Now, by default, they all stay at the left. So that's that. Then the next one is to have a text decoration. It has or remove underline. So the best example to use for decoration is the anchor tag, which is this guy. You see, a link always comes with an underline. text for you to know the difference, right? But sometimes you want your link to not be underlined. Like if you're having a navigation bar, you will not want all those home is a link to somewhere. So you will not want it to have a navigation bar. So what you will do is you will like to remove that. And one thing is like this is one thing also that you should always do, no matter what. As long as you are having an A in your work, always do this. Like by default should be one of the first thing you also always use your type tag for. You always remove the text decoration. Um, you do none. When you do none, you see by default you have removed all the underlying text that is there. So by you have removed the text, so you can use other styling to make it a link. But aside from that, you can also use it like if you don't want it to be none, you can say line through. If you say line through, it comes on top. That's how you do that. If you want something else, you want the double. So I think that should work on text more. Then you want this dash, not there. So basically, all these dash parts work more on a P. Let's use a P. But when you do none, you get to remove it. I should not have that. So on a P, let's do it text decoration and do dotted. Okay, it has to be underlined. So when you do line through, see line through is there. When you do overline, see is overline. Then if you want underline, you want the text to be under, to have a line under, see, underline, and so on. So this is basically what you use. This is what you use text decoration for. Next is text transformation. So it changes the text to uppercase. So what you do for text transformation is you come here, you say text transformation. I want it to be all capitalized and all every word starts capitalized, no matter what it is. Every word. Let me bring that back to the right and do a text color of white on it so that we can see. Oh, I think we've assigned those colors in a very funny place and you can override where we have another page. Remove that. Choose we took that. Yeah, I know that other last way to run away before this thing. Right. And our last text is called okay, footer. So let's do a it doesn't have a class. Let's do footer black. Footer long it to be and the color will be black. Good. Okay, that's been done now. All of them are white. I was trying to do that to make it clear. So using text transform, which is what we're working on, we can change it. Where am I working? Yeah, okay. We can change it from capitalized to uppercase. And every text is in capital letter. You can change it from uppercase to lowercase. and everything will be in lowercase and just that. So you use text transform where you don't want to like you needed something to go like this, you want everything and you just paste your text. So you basically use text transform for that to just have a smooth flow. Then the next is letter spacing. So we come here and do a letter spacing. I want you to have like 5 pixels. Let's see how wide I want flags. Yep. Can you see that? That's basically what we use letter spacing to do. It's just a space between letter and that's how we write it. Then text shadow we said, let me just pick this color. Text shadow is started with from the text. And what we tell it is how do I explain this? That a text shadow is to yes and do this. So we're telling it have a 2 pixels to the right, have a 2 pixel y, 2 pixel x, a blurry of 5 pixel, and then this is the color black but at 0.5 opacity, which is like 50% opacity. And here we are. Let me look for a very weird color and change this to let's change it to green, and this color green. Let's see if we can see that. Yep, see, this one now gives us a clear visual of text shadow, and that is how we use that basically. Now, best practices: ensure text style enhance readability and accessibility. Use consistent typography across your design. Avoid overusing text shadow for a cleaner look. Avoid using text shadow. There are places where you use text shadow. Avoid using it for a cleaner look. What you want. So CSS font changes. CSS allow you to change the appearance of the text on a web page by adding properties like font size, weight, style, and more. You can you can enhance your design. So coming to look at it, there are common properties for fonts, and this is font size. It defines the size of the font. You either use PX, AM, or REMS, or then you use font weight. This control how thick you want this to be. It is that normal bold, border, or you use 100 to 129 to 900. 900 is too bolder. Then font style specify whether the font should be italics, normal, or uplift. Then font variant allows you to control small gap and other font variation. Then font stretch adjusts the width of the font, e.g. condense or expand. Then line height is control the vertical spacing between the line of text. So first one, font size. Font size is one crucial thing you always use. So you can, there's a default size for H1 and H2 like this. There's always a default size, but I use the font size here. And see, I use the font size here. Come off. And you come off. Okay, yes, let's leave. So using a font size, I have declared this guy to be as bigger than others. So what you just have to do, maybe I should increase this to. So to do font size, you do font size. You write font size. You see, we have defined size already. So if I want to extra large, then it goes to the extra large that it has. But sometimes the size don't give you what you want. That's why you end up defining it as you want. So, and that's why you can use 60 pixel. Now you can either use REM or I'm actually doing this. You can either use REM or you use EMS or you use pixel. So any one of it. And just do 60 pixel. And that's how it works. That's how font size works. Now font weight, now it will tell it to be bold, not bolder. Oh, I didn't get this. So this is practically the one we're working with. This again. So let's reduce it back to something we can work with. 40. So we have font weight. Font weight does this. Font weight, see, like I said, you have 100, which is the 200 is extra light, 300 is light, 400 is normal, 500 is medium, 600 is semi bold, 700 is bold, 8 is extra bold, 9 is black. Yes, there's black, which is like heavy thickness. So see, bold is like same as 700 bolder. So side you face to be more thicker and lighter. Normal, basically. So it's within 100 to this. So don't use bolder, making it to be more thicker or anything. So when you work with font size, well, font weight, well, it's to tell it if it should be thicker than the other ones by default, and that's how they work. You see that more with other colors than when you use this color. Then when you use white, you can see that clearly well when you use other color. So another thing is font style. So we use font style. We're working with this. So I say font style. I want you to see. That's give you, let's use this. And what do we have? This is it. Then, or you can use italics, and is there. Or you can have it as normal, and that's it. So let's stay with italics. Then font variation, we have mockup. Let's do something like font variants. We have small caps, and that's it. It should just make the other ones small capital letters and based on the other one bigger letters. That's it. Then which other variation is there? Okay, line heights. Line heights. Line heights. So we want to use 1.6, 1.5. Yeah, it is. See? Giving it the space because everything there is basically the sorry. This is basically what line height does, gives a spacing vertically. Then best practices. Use appropriate font size for readability. So one thing your font size does is we tend to know that when you have a bigger font, you are trying to call the attention of your readers to that. So you use any font for readability. Well, don't because we are trying to make it big, then you make it all big and so gigantic that it is too much. Just your headings, know when to use big font size and know when to use small size when you don't want to call attention and all that. Basically, that's it. Then don't overuse bold or italic text as it can affect italics and it can affect readability. Always ensure that font change align with the overall design and layout. So ensure that any font you are using aligns with the design that you are working with. Now, font family. Now, CSS font family. CSS font families allow you to apply multiple fonts to your text, enhancing the typography and flexibility of your web design. By specifying a series of fonts, you ensure that the browser has a fallback option if the preferred font isn't available. So the font family property. The font family property allows you to specify the fonts that should be used for text in an element. You can list several fonts in the CSS with the most preferred font listed first. So like we have here, if we want area, we use area first. Then you have a fallback in the sense that should in case the browser can't find this area, you can find from the other ones that you specify and use. Basically, that is how we use. Now, example, using a generic font family, if the specified font is unavailable, the browser will fall back to the generic font. So, like we have done here, we use the one that it's there. So if he could not find this area, let's comment this out and find another font family. So when you do a font family, you have list of different type of text here, and it always have one that it wants to fall back to. So actually, in case you cannot find one, let's do time Roman. See time and Safari. That should change the text in over. Yep. See, that's changed. So if the browser can't find the time new Roman, it goes to times or it goes to serif. That's how it works. But these are inbuilt fonts. So what if the fonts that you are working with are not inbuilt fonts? That's when you use Google Fonts. And how does Google Fonts work? You import it. There are two ways of importing it. So let's first go. First thing you do is you go to Google Fonts. You go to Google Fonts. You search for the font you want. Let's see. Let's do this photo here. No, let's use Montserrat. So you click on the font you want. You see, let me discard all this so that we won't have issues. Come back to fonts. You want Montserrat. So what you do is after clicking on it and you have this, you get fonts. Now you say you want embedded code. Using embedded code, load. You have two ways. You don't have this link, you copy it, this whole link like this, copy it, and then you bring it to your HTML and place it inside the head tag. When you place it inside the head tag, you place it inside the head tag like this. And after that, the next thing you do is you add this font family like this. You see, all of them always have something to fall back to. You do the font family, then you come back here and specify the font family you want. Save. And if we come back to our browser, see, we have it in Montserrat font, which is different. Now, if that's one way, but if you like your code here to be as neat as possible, you really want to leave that as neat because this back and forth is not sweet like that. Best another way to do it is use the art import. Using the art import, you just copy this code here and you press it. So you bring it here and bring it here. You bring it and put it at the top. An import should always bring it at the top of the file. So when you leave it at the top, so you leave it there. And by default, when you specify font family Montserrat like that, it is going to still be there. See? And that's it. So that is how the two ways you work with font family and you import them. So the next one is font stack. So you list multiple fonts for more robust fallback mechanism, and that's what we have. Time number, time. So that's it. When it falls back on it like that. It's just for you to fall back. So best practices: always provide a generic font family, which is serif and sans serif as a fallback. Avoid using too many different fonts to maintain a clean and consistent design. Don't have like 10, don't only your design should have like up to. You can have up to 2 fonts. Maybe you just need someone to look like a logo, and then other one should be all your body used to. When you're having like 4 to 5, you're already in a weird move when you're having like 5 fonts only. Now test your site across different programs to ensure font compatibility. Some fonts don't work on some browser. That's why you see you can open it on one browser, it's nice, and even another browser is not nice. So make sure the font you are using works all around. Now we've already talked more of font size, but let's go more deeply. Now, we say font size properties allow you to control the size of the text on your web page. Adjusting font size help improve the readability and design of your website. So, The font size property in CSS defines the size of the text in an element. It accepts several values from fixed sizes like pixel to relative like percent. So you have pixel. Pixel is your px for fixed. Now, when you use a pixel, when you say 16 pixel, you are telling it that this is the fixed value it will have. It will be 16 pixel on a big screen or on a small screen or in a medium on a tap screen. That is going to be, so it is fixed. So pixel gives you a specific size that doesn't change regardless of the screen size. And that's what it does. Now, EMS for relative size. The EMS unit is related to the font size of its parent element, making it useful for scalable design. So what it does is the parent element. Now, like let's come here. Parent element is this header. This header is the parent element to this H1. And is the parent this nav is the parent element of this A. So if on this header we specify that the font size should be 16 pixel, and then we come on this H1 and specify that we want the font size to be 2M. What 2M will do is it will be 1 times 1 divided by 16 pixel, it will be 16. So divide by 16. So it will now be relative in the sense that it will be relative to whatever that parent font size is, and that's how it will adjust across all screen. And it will either go big or it go small. Now using rem now, EMS works with the parent, while REMS works with HTML, the root size. So the REM is related to the root, which is the HTML. In the sense that when you come back to this place, you should notice that HTML is the root. We have the head and the body inside the HTML. So it takes on the specific group root size that is already on the HTML by default. Like we said on the browser, you can see that each file, each tag, before we use the margin and padding to remove them, has a default sizing on them already. So what RAM does is it multiplies itself by the default size on the HTML itself, on the root, providing consistent sizings across your entire page. So if you use 1.5, it will be 1 times 5 divided by 16, which is the root. It is always 16, which is the root pixel. Now, using percent, you can also use percentage for your font size. This will scale the text relative to its parent size. So what it will do is, like EMS, it will scale it based on what the parent size is. So if you say 5% of pixel, 5% pixels on this screen size, it will take the same 5% for whatever screen. So it is related to screen size and the parent element at the same time. So now, for relative font size and responsive font size, to ensure your text is readable across different screen sizes, use relative units like EMS and REM or percent, which allow the text to scale according to the viewport. So like I was explaining, if you have used 5%, it will come up to 5% of the last screen you are using. So when it goes to tab, it will take 9% of the screen you are using. So it will not stay fixed like the way pixel will just stay fixed across your side. Instead, with percent EMS or REMs, they'll try to shrink or enlarge based on the screen size that you are using. A common approach for a relative text is to use media query to change for some based on screen width. We'll get to media query soon. So, but using font size 3V, VW is view width, right? Yes, it's for view width. Now, so that view width is like you're telling it that take a 3 view width, like take the 3p of the view width. The view width is like the wideness of whatever design it is. We have VH, which is the height of whatever view device we are using. So view width is like 3 view width, 3% or 300 of that view width. That's how it works. Now, best practice, always use relative unit like EMS and REM or percent for better response. I will even avoid stick to either EMS or REMs for your font sizes. Majorly REMs for better responsiveness. Test your text across different devices to ensure readability. Avoid using too many different font sizes to maintain a clear, consistent design. CSS spacing text. In CSS, Controlling the space between text is essential for creating readability and aesthetically pleasing design. You adjust the spacing between individual letter, words, and lines to improve the overall visual appeal of your content. So the text spacing property. The CSS text spacing property allow you to adjust the spacing between text in various ways. The property are useful for improving legibility and adding styling to your typography. We have letter spacing, which we have seen. It controls the space between individual letter in a word. Word spacing controls the space between words in a sentence, and we've seen line height. It controls the space between the line of text, affects multiple line content. So I think the only one we've not seen here is word spacing, and how does that specify? I think we did all those on our P. Yep. Let's do a word spacing on this. How do we pass to it? Okay. So if we do word spacing, what did we give our letter spacing? So let's give word spacing times 2 10 pixels. So when we come here to check, can you see that the spacing between the word increases here? That's what word spacing does for you. Basically. Now, responsible spacing. To ensure your text remain readable on different devices, consider using relative unit like ems or rem. Like we said, pixels are always fixed. So if we don't want it to be so fixed, let's use 5M. So by default, it scales here. Yeah, now because we have on this P, it is taking a relative value from somewhere. See, it's times by 16. And we have some, so by default, we drop this to like, so it should be what? Then 1 has no letter spacing. See how the letter spacing is at every, and then it should be like 16. Let's use rem then. 1 rem. That should be 16 pixels, so we go like 0.5. That's like 8 pixels, so it wants 5 pixels, so 0.25, 6, 7, 8, 9, 3, 1, 2, I stick to 3, 1. So there's like 5 pixels there. So you see we're back to it. Can see they're even way bigger than even using rems. So we want 10, should be like 0.8 rem. That's even 12. So it's 0.7, 11, 0.6, 0.5, 0.65, 10, 0.64, 0.63, 0.62, 63 is better. And here we go. Allow you to rather use M's and rems so that when you go on smaller screen, it fits in. Best practices: using letter spaces for emphasis, but avoid excessive spaces for readability. Don't use too much space that you won't be able to coin all the words together. Then the next is what spacing is useful for clarity, especially in edit. Set line height to at least 1.5 for comfortable reading experience. Test on different screen sizes to ensure your spacing works across devices. So that is basically all about text. Now we're going to what we call CSS box model. Another key thing. So I think this is where we'll talk of margin and padding. Definitely where we'll talk about margin and padding. CSS box overview. The CSS box model is the foundation of layout in web design. Every HTML element is considered a rectangular box, and this model explains how its sizing and spacing are calculated. It has 4 key parts: content, padding, border, and margin. Understand this property will help you control spacing and layout effectively. I think to explain this better, I have one tool we call Chrome Dev tool, and this is where we see it most times. Yeah, this is, can you all see this? This is what we call box model. So you can see the margin by default. You have a margin of 8 round, right? So this is the border. That's the border. So it has a border by itself. That's where you can see the margin. It has a border. Then you have a padding inside, right? Where did I see that? Then you have a padding inside, and then this now, it's not the contents. So you have a padding inside, then you now have the border before you now have the margin. So that is it basically. And then when I was telling you that the root was ems or system by default, this is it here. It is always inherited from HTML by default is at system ems. So when you are testing anything by the ems or is dividing by the ems, it looks at this first. So that's first one I call explain box module. Now we said the part of box module. The box module consists of the following parts: the content, padding, border, and margin. Now the content is the actual content inside the post, such as text, image, and other elements. The padding is the space between the content and the border. Now the border, a line surrounding the padding or content if no padding is specified. Margin, space outside the border, separating the box from other elements. So margin and padding can be very tricky. But one thing you should know is when you have a container, right? When you have a header, padding, when you put a padding, you're telling it inside header have this space. Then when you're using a margin, you're telling it outside header have this space. We see it well now. So using an header, let's do it. We have a section about. Okay, we have an idea of about. So I still think we have an idea of about it. So by default, all of them have their padding, right? So let's do the stuff that we have here. Let's look it. And everything through together. So this. So inside, I collapsed that so that we can see something clearly. So inside about, where is it? Let's talk about here. When we want a padding, when we say a padding, it is written padding, and then you have a, let's say, it's a 5 pixel. So when you do a 5 pixel, you're telling it to have a, oh, okay. Before we do that, let me show you the difference. Did you notice that there is no space in between? All these texts are like, especially using this one, is actually the same place that this image took. So using a padding, let me bring it back. Then you see that there's now a space here. Even look at this about now, there's a space from the wall. Look at this edge too, there's a space from it. That's what you do with padding. Padding does a space inside. Then when you do a margin, let's do the same way, and we do margin of 5 pixels. Now, did you see now? Margin is outside. It puts the space across around it outside and separate it from other content. This is how margin is. So padding, it is inside the element, while margin, it is outside element. You will always be using this, so make sure you get it right from the beginning. So that's how we do padding. Now to add a border, I think we should explain border well. But to add a border, what we do is to do, let's come to body. Body, we have to do a border. I want to have a border of 1 pixel solid and hash TDD. I should like ash color on the body. Okay, Let's remove this so that we can see some. Can you see that tiny line here? That is what border does. So you see by default there is a margin outside, and this is the padding inside. The border, but we don't have a default padding inside. That's why there's no space. So I can come into body, I can specify and tell it to have a padding all round of let's say 10 pixel, and then you can see it now. Everything inside that body takes it like that. It takes that space, and I want you to have a margin now. Sorry, I'm responding to things at the same time. Margin now of 10 pixels. Can you see the top? You already have the margin. So that's the margin, the border, padding, and the content. Basically, that's how it works. So you see, padding, border, and margin. Now, best practices: use box sizing as border box to include padding and border to the element total width and height. Text layout. So the best to use is instead of doing all this, sometimes you will need this specifically when you want to use it, but it's appropriate to come inside. This is another thing that you had here. You do box sizing, right? Yes. Box sizing, you do a border box. Part of one thing you put here doesn't affect it here. This is basically what you have to do. It's part of your code. So you see that 10 that I specify, the one that it knows that is there, and the 10 I specify for the padding. Can you see that it knows the border itself, then the margin? Can you see that? Basically, that's what border boxing does for us. Now, avoid excessive margin or padding to reduce layout issue because they are going to be fixed. This is why using P2. Always use short-term property for cleaner codes. Just margin is a short-term property. You will get to it so you understand better. CSS content area. The content area is at the heart of the CSS box module. It is a space where your actual content like text, images, or other elements resides. Understanding the content area helps you precisely control what display and how it fits within the container. Now, why the content area matters? The content area determines the core functionality of any element, whether you are placing an image or wrapping text in a div. It all starts with the content area. Everything else, padding, border, margin, is layered after it. 1. It defines the exact size needed for your content. It is the foundation for all other box module property. So know that your content is the most important thing of all. Now, example of manipulating the content area. Resizing the content. By default, content area goes to fit the content inside. However, you can specific width and height to control its size. So by default, you see, this one just is specific just to have its content inside. But I can specify its width and height and make it so way bigger than that. So we can now come to about and tell it that about I want you to have a width of let's say 80%. And I want you to have a height of 60%. 60%. I think I should draw. And that's how. Yes. So you see, now you can give it more despite the content is not that. But basically, sometimes one of the things that your content does is the element housing is just take specifically just the height of the element, so it does not span much. It doesn't go way more than that. But you can specify the width you want and you can specify the height you want. By default, I told you 80%, so this is remaining 20% of the screen size. And that is where you stop it. And I told you to take a 60 VH, which is the view height, and in my view height, this is 60. So this is 20 up here, and this is another 20 down here, making it 100. Now, anti-overflow. If the content is larger than the specific size of a content area, you can manage it how it is displayed using the overflow property. So, by default, your browser, when it starts going, it allows you to scroll, right? Yeah, that's a good one, right? But you can also do that for some content now. Imagine the content inside here. Since we specified a night, right? Let's come inside about and do something here. Tanya, is that not the gate they are knocking? 9 times 100. Sorry about that. 9 times 100. Can you see that it is way longer? And when that 100 is plenty, Control Z. Here's 250. Too much level. Scrolling. When the 50 is long. Damn. It's 220. I don't want too much longness. Yeah. So, but why? And look at where our height stop. Well, our text has gone down. So we can do something called overflow scroll inside. And we said scroll. So by that, you see, you can scroll just inside there. And that's what the scroll works. overflow scroll works like that too. They're telling me that any overflow things, so and that's how it works basically. That's what you use overflow to do. You can see that now. So your browser automatically has this by inside, and that's why you can easily scroll easily on your browser. But this is how you manipulate it on your own text. Sorry about the noise today. There's plenty of activity in the house. Then that's how you handle overflow. Now, flexible content. Using property like max width and max height to make the content area adapt to different screens. So you are telling me that instead of just this width, 80, I want it that the maximum width should be 100%. Or his width should be 80. So no matter the screen size it should not be, his maximum width should not be more than 100%. Do you understand? So no matter what screen size it is, it will always be 100% of that screen size. That's all maximum width. But not going to say 80% of that width. So if not, I want you to comment this and to go back. So he knows that it always stays at 100% no matter the screen. And then when we tell an height to be auto, that means it should just take whatever the content is inside. You see? So by default it will span to take all the content inside of it, and that is it. That's too long. So let us do control Z to that one. I like it short and so that we can scroll inside. Then the next thing you have is best practices for content area management. Always consider responsiveness. Test your content area on different screen size. Use relative units like percentage for flexible design. Like you see that I was using, use percent more, because when you use percent, when you take percent, 80%, you're telling it 80% of that screen. So whatever 80% it is on a large screen, it will take 80% of the small screen. But if you are using 365 pixel, when you get to small screen, which is not wide of the 365, you start getting overflow, so you start scrolling to the side. Now you see you want to pinch it to fit the screen size. When you use 80%, by the time it gets to a small screen, it will try to fit 80% of that screen size. And that's why we use max width sometimes. You can tell it that when it gets to a smaller width, it should take a full width of 100%. Like that. Then that's what you have next. We're almost done for today. Don't worry. Then we've seen adding border. Now, one thing about border is that Border are an essential part of CSS box module. They provide the ability to outline elements, creating a visual boundary between the content and the surrounding space. By using CSS border effectively, you can emphasize elements, create separation, and add decorative touch to your web touch. Now, understanding borders in CSS. Borders are the layout between an element padding and margin. They can have different width, style, and color, making them highly customizable for various design needs. Now, they highlight or emphasize important elements. Yeah, they separate content into distinct sections, and they can be styled to match your design type. An example of border. One thing you should know about border is that it's a shorthand to margin and padding. But I thought we will get there. But yes, we will get on. We still go to margin and padding. But one thing you should know is that border, you can have border rights. Okay, this is one thing that we should explain. I should explain. Know it with even padding. This your work is a rectangle, right? So this is the top, this is the right, this is the bottom, and this is the left, right? So you can style just this top by doing padding top, margin top, or border top, border right, padding right. So using border alone or using padding alone, using margin alone, you're telling it should take the four size, for the four sides. But when you want to specify for one side alone, you can do margin top alone, and that way you're telling it's just the top you should touch, don't touch the other sides. So that's one thing you should know. That when we're talking about that, always use the shorthand. Yes, always use the shorthand. There's a way you can use the shorthand to write all of their figure out. You understand better later. Now using border, we're telling it have 2 pixels. So your thickness should be the border around should not be the thickness should not be more than 2 pixels. It should be solid and it should be black. So let me find one element that we've not used so far. This achievement is what? H3 of ID experience. So let's do something. Let's use all the H3 hashtag H3 H3. Now we have H3. I want you to have a border of 2 pixels, solid and black. Yeah. So do you see it is way thicker than this other one? If you want it way thicker than that, you can go like 5 pixels. But please don't make your border as thick as anything because it can be very annoying. You see how disturbing this is to the eye. So you just want it to be as light as possible. So you stick to either 2, depending on your design. 1 or 2. See how mine is very light. Just to pass. Then you can use 2 and that's it now. Then the next thing you want to do is there's another way to style. There's another way to style it. It's not just solid. So you can have and to be dashed. When you say dashed, this is what you see. Dash. If you say you want it to be dotted, used to be dotted, can you see? This is dotted. Want it to be double. Most times we just use solid because basically we're doing solid and double and double as well. That is how border styling works. Now we said individual borders, like I said before. You can style each side of the border separately using border top, border right, border bottom, and border left. So I'll just copy this like this. Bring it here. We don't have a div here. So I will change it to let's see. Let me use this one. What was inside there? Life of a journey is here. No. Oh. Let's throw something. Yeah, this guy. So I was trying to look for the colors there. Is that I need a text shadow somewhere. Let's do a color black. We'll take it. This one side there. Now, so can you see we did something here? We told you that the border top should be 5 pixels solid and black, and that's what we have it, solid there and black, 5 pixels. Next time we say we want to double 4 pixel green left. See? In the left it is 4 pixel and it's green. In the right we said we want it to be dotted for the bottom, 2 pixel dotted and red, and that's what we have here, dotted. So you can basically touch each side separately. But to just do a shorthand instead of doing all this trying to touch it all over, is what we use this border for, and it just brings everything for you once. So basically that's how padding works too, and that's how margin works too. So I guess I hope when we get there we won't get too confused. Now, rounded border, you might want the end of your border instead of looking as sharp as this. What we can just do is call it border radius, and you pass in whatever you want value. 10 pixels. Yeah, can you see? It is rounded a bit instead of as sharp as that. So that's basically what border radius work for us. Now, best practices for adding border. Match borders color and style to your website. Use rounded border for a modern and sleek design. Yes, our borders are always rounded at the edge now. They're not just straight and sharp and like before. Now, test border on different screen size to ensure that they don't disrupt the layout. Avoid overly thick or distracting, but like I said, don't use too thickness unless this is survive a specific purpose. Except that a specific purpose, please let your border be as light as possible. Now, CSS using padding. Padding is one of the key properties in the CSS box model. It creates space between an element content and the border, ensuring that the content doesn't touch the edge. Proper use of padding enhances readability, improves layer aesthetics, and gives your design a polished look. Understanding padding in CSS. Padding adds internal spacing with an element. Like I said, internal. Unlike margin, we control the space outside an element. That's their difference. Padding is this internal spacing, margin it is outside spacing. Padding directly affects the element internal spacing, pushing the content away from its border. Do you have any content by its border? Yes, by this. This one that are touching the border exactly. This one to touching the border, touching the border. We use padding now. Padding makes text and elements more readable. It prevents overlapping of content with border, and it can be customized for different sizes. You have top, right, and bottom. So using that one, we want our div to be like our padding here. So I can add padding here to padding of 10 pixels, and we should get to see that, see, they're no longer touching the edge. That's basically what padding do for us. And like I said the other time, it has its top, right, bottom, and left. It's just for you to use to style individually when you want to just style. And you know the padding is not something that should affect all. So you can specify which side you want it to be and move. Now the shorthand is what we'll be doing, which is 10 shorthand. So you can use the shorthand properly to apply padding to all four sides. Now the best way to do it is when you just use one value, you're telling you that all sides should be 10. So when you specify two value, the first one is for the top and the bottom, and the next one is for the left and the right. When you specify three values, the top, the first one is for the top, the second one is for the right and the left, the third one is for bottom. When you specify four values, it goes, this is how it reads. It reads top, right, bottom, left. That's how it reads its work. So this is the top, this is the right, this is the bottom, and this is the left. Or you can do everything by just leaving it in a fixed value, in a simple value, and it affects all around. You can use percentage. Padding can be set using percentage relative to the element width. You have the div percentage using 10%. Yes, so it can use percent. So you can use M too. So that's it now. Best practice for using padding. Ensure padding complements the overall layout design. Use consistent padding across elements for a professional look. So that's why you just use the short and use 10 pixels. Avoid excessive padding as it may disrupt the design balance. Yes, it might disturb you, especially when you're working with responsive design. But that padding can fuck you up because it will still retain that space, especially if you are using fixed value pixel. If you are using like a percent, it will try and adjust for you. Now test padding across different screen sizes for responsiveness. Different screen sizes within phone, tab, and laptop. And the next, which will be the last topic for today, is CSS setting margin. Now, like padding, margin is very crucial too. So you use margin to space elements outside them. Use padding to space elements inside it. Now, margin as an essential part of the CSS block module, they create a space outside. Like I said, outside. Take note of this difference. I'm usually from the beginning I started talking about padding because it is a very important difference. So they create space outside an element, separating it from other elements or the edge of the browser. Proper margin usage ensure clean, visible, and visually appealing layout and prevent overlapping elements. Understanding margin in CSS. Margin defines the external spacing around elements. Unlike padding, which creates internal spacing, margin separates an element from the other. Margin are especially used for creating brush room between content block and aligning elements on the page. Now, margin creates spacing between elements, they prevent content from being crowded, and they can be customized, like I said, between the top, right, bottom, and left. And how we do padding is 20 pixels. Let's see which one have we not touched. Okay, this is 3. Let's give them, yep, let's give them a margin of 10 pixels. I should shrink inside one. So you see, it's increasing the space around and this one to add the space. Let's comment this out. Let's see if I can use it to explain it. So see, if you have this like is default. But now you are telling it that I don't want you to use it, but I want you to just have it as a 10 pixel. And that's what it is. See, that's shrink inside because it is all round. Now, if we want it to be just like this, you can do this. Let's replace it with this one. And when you do that, see that they're not equal. They are different, but they come with. So you told it that the top should have just 10 pixels, the right should have 15, the left should have 25, and the margin button should have 20. And that's why this one can go as in as possible. And I can increase margin left to be like 40 pixels just to see and see. It's just this part that really affect this. But if we have done like 40 pixel on, let's do margin and just do 40 pixels, it will affect all around. That is how shorthand works for you. Um, just like the way padding, you can specify 2, 3, or 4 shorthand so that you do the same thing for margin. Margin can be set for all 4 sides in a single line using the margin. You can do all the offsets by just passing one value. You can do top and bottom by passing two, like we said. But now, don't too deep on that. The auto margin. The auto margin property is commonly used for centering element horizontally without a container. So I think I have. Let's go back to that about now. If we leave this width here like this, you will see that this guy is just shrink to the side. But what if you want it to be centered? So this is what you do. You do margin instead of 5 pixels, you do margin auto. And margin auto is telling it this. Check, give it a space of auto inside that. Check whatever spaces remain, then split that space as the margin for the left, right, up, and bottom. Basically, that's what the auto is just doing for you. So, auto margin. The margin auto property is commonly used for central element horizontally within a container. So, like my work is like 50%. That means we have 20% left, right? When you do margin auto is splitting that 10 into 10, 10, and centering it to stay in the middle. Basically, that's what we use it. Now, best practices for using margin. Use consistent margin for a clean and comprehensive layout. Avoid excessive margin, which may disrupt the visual balance. Combine margin with padding for precise spacing control. Combine the two. Test margin on different screen sizes for responsiveness. And this is where we end today's class. So next week we'll start with CSS layouts. Any question? Please, you can raise your hand for question. I know we have spent a lot of time today, but any question? Obed, you can go ahead.
Thank you very much for the lesson. My question is when they are talking
I
about
can't hear
borders.
you clearly. You sound like someone that is very far from his phone.
Okay, can you hear me clearly now?
Yeah, I can.
Yes. When you are talking about borders and you apply the borders, I observe that the lines stretch across the whole page. And so if I want my border to just wrap around my text, is that possible?
Wrap around where?
The text instead of going
Yes,
through the
now.
whole page. Okay.
That's what we did here. This is what we did here. This other one was put on the body, so it wrapped everywhere. But this one here. It wrapped just this. Okay, using this H3, yes. You see, it just wrapped just this H3. And the reason why you have this thing going down to this page is because an H3 is what we call a block scope. This ones, a block scope means they take 100% width by default. So even if your text is as short as this, they are taking that 100% width. That's why you can add so many things and it will keep taking that space. So it will take the full 100% width until you specify the width you want to give it, just the way we are giving width like this. But sometimes we don't touch our width. We allow them take their 100% width complete. Except you put them into a div like this and then you use the div. But most times you leave that. So yes, it will just wrap the text. See, it is wrapping the text, but it's telling you that this text has this width to this particular place. This H3 is from here to here. That is his width. Do you understand? Your border works with your width. So if your border is at 50, then your width is at 50. Your border will just wrap it at 50. It is your width. How your width is how your border will span to. Basically, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Any
So
other
I will
question?
just okay, thank you, ma.
Yeah, you can finish. What were you saying?
Yes, I'm saying that so I'll just specify the width and then that will settle it.
Yes, specify the width for that text and that should settle it. It will just retain in the middle and that's all.
Okay, thank you, ma.
You're welcome. Tolani Moses.
Okay. Good evening. Thank you for
Good
the class.
evening.
I just want
You're
to ask,
welcome.
in assignment because I've not been consistent with the classes due to light issue and
No
all that.
problem.
And I saw one assignment like that that is different from the one we did for the project. So I was thinking, is there any pending assignment? I know there is one for the one we are supposed to use Medium for.
Mm-hmm.
I've not done that. Then there should be another one that is HTML.
No problem.
It's not the project one.
Okay, it's not the project one. I think um Yusuf will answer you. Yusuf does all the assignments and chopping for that. So yes, the assignments.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you can bring your hand down so that we'll know who is left. Toby Ogunjobi.
No,
Toby.
it's Toby Egunjobi.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you please share your screen, please?
My
My
screen
question is
is
from there.
sharing.
Oh, yeah. I
Okay,
mean
from here.
no, not this one.
This one.
The one you did.
This one.
Yeah. Yeah, this one. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. No, but go down first. Go down.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay. It's okay. Yes. How did you this bullet point that shoots that went inside? How did you do it
Oh, okay. I
in
didn't do
CSS?
anything. That's not a CSS thing. That's still a default HMS style. We've not touched it. So this is it
Eh.
here. Yep. This is like that went inside here telling it I want an on order list. I have an li. Inside that is the first list. We call li the list item. Inside the first list item, I have elementary school. Inside the next list item, I want to have high school and another on order list inside. That's what we did. So having
Oh.
another on
Oh.
order list, then you cannot have its own list item and by default. So since it knows that there's
Okay.
another another list inside a list, it gave it a different type of bullet point inside. So this is
Hmm.
just still HTML working his work. We've not touched
Hmm.
it in CSS. In CSS, we
Okay.
practically remove all those bullet points because we will not need them if we want to work with
Hmm.
it. There are rare cases where you leave your bullet points when you are working with other lists. Have I answered that question, Toby?
Yeah, you did. Thank you.
Yeah. Aliu, Sani.
Yes, ma. No any question. This is very understandable session.
Okay, I'm talking to Aliu. Aliu raised his hand.
Okay, good evening.
Evening.
My question is, please, where do you click to bring out the CSS model, the padding and
Oh, what
margin
I
from your
click.
browser? I see that you click something that will bring out the padding and margin.
Okay. There's something we have here. When you right click on your Chrome, there's a default thing that you have inspect. Did you see that inspect? When you right
Yeah.
click, you should see inspect. So when you click on inspect,
Okay.
it brings you this. This is one part that we call the developer tools that comes with Chrome and even Firefox, and it helps us a lot to check your code. Maybe you are trying to do something and it's having one error. You can check them. You can see basically we have the HTML like we have the doc type. You see, you can see the head and you can see the body. The body has the header, the main, and everything. So this down part is the style, which is your CSS. So this is it. So this is where I saw that body, which has like the default for like what do I say? The default for the old HTML. So if I click on HTML now, you see it just has that by default, and it just leaves it like that. Do you understand? So that's where you
I
check.
understand. Thank you very much. All right, thank
Yeah.
you.
Castro, you raised your hand the other time. Or is that the end of the question section?
Sorry. I'm having
You said I can't hear you
sorry where I am.
clearly.
Network is quite poor where I am. I don't know if we can get
Oh,
the link to the resources this night. No, the link to.
sure, you will be able to get it. Yusuf will send it, the resource, so you will do that. Alright. Since that's the end for all questions, Yusuf, over to you.